Hey, what's up, Scalers? Teddy Do Champ here. Alright, I'm gonna make a little bit longer video here about the Takom, kind of going over everything. Starting with the gun down there, I added some wires and put a few cables on it, some things I seen on the net. So all that turned out pretty good. And then the turret here, I put reflective or iridescent film on everything, even the small ones up top in the back. I kind of just laid it in the back, and it kind of just slid right in. And then the bottom ones, you can kind of see the bottom one kind of really, it's like a really shiny thing I got off a CD. You can kind of see it good right there. So all that turned out pretty cool. Over here I went with a couple different variants of the Hellfire, and then on the can I cut off some tips of the other, like full loadout they give you, and I cut off just a few of the tips and put it in there like it was only some rockets were in there. So yeah, that turned out pretty cool. And then I did the blade fold system, and there's 15, I believe, remove before flight tags on this. So if you're gonna do the blade fold system, you don't have to put the remove before flight tags on, but it makes it look pretty cool. Up here on the rotor, I added some wires up at the top and the bottom. I think I went over this before in one of my previous videos. But yeah, I added the wires in, so all that turned out pretty cool. Let me see what else. Over here on the big kind of bubble light there, the little red light in there is another piece of clear sprue that I cut, and I put it in there and painted red to give it the light effect. So yeah, if you want to do that, you can just cut off like a little piece of your extra clear sprue that'll fit up in there, kind of like a kind of round, half round, and it's flat on the back, and then it just slid right up in there. So yeah, that turned out pretty cool. Right here, the little like probe hanging off the back of the wing, that's a toothbrush bristle. The ones on the kit are just a little bit too thick, and so I put a toothbrush bristle on those. So yeah, that all turned out pretty cool. What else? Painting just standard. I went with the AK Real Colors, and I primed it with Mr. Surfacer 1500. I think I went over that before in a previous video. But yeah, that's what I primed it with, and then painted it. And then I came in with some highlights of some Tamiya paint that's very close match to this one. There's the back. Oh yeah, back up under here, I added some wires on the actual landing gear itself. You can kind of see it right there, the yellow little wire harnesses, and then on the side there, kind of going in, and then on the very back there, you can see the white wires, the white wire with the blue ones next to it, and there's a little skinny white wire. It's not picking it up, but yeah, there's an actual skinny white wire next to the blue ones. So if you're thinking about doing that, you can do it. I weathered it in a little bit with some panel line wash and some Winsor & Newton oils. I have the three basic colors, black, white, and then like a rust color. I think it's called burnt umber. So I got some burnt umber. Everything on the kit fit extremely well. There was no real issues on the fit. Everything fit pretty good. I mean, there was some harder areas than other. Like I said, the blade fold was it wasn't the easiest thing to do. All those little covers were kind of a pain right there. You can see the square one there, and then there's a round one that covers the vent. They were kind of a pain, but not too bad. What else? The canopy is it's a little shaky, but you know, I didn't get mine perfect, but that's okay. It's hard to get these kits absolutely perfect. In the avionics bay there, I did a lot of copper wire work. I twisted up some copper wire to give it kind of the braided look. So yeah, all that turned out pretty cool. I wanted to do this one with the bay open, one bay open, and the engine's closed. What else? The inside I painted with rubber black, and then I think I went over this in my previous video, but if you didn't see that one, I went over it with rubber black, and then come back in with some NATO black, and then I did some dry brushing with some craft paint from Walmart. I like to use granite gray. It always turns out great, and it's very cheap, and it's water based. So yeah, the little white sealing, I guess it is, around the canopy wasn't too bad. It actually went down pretty easily. What else? I know I'm forgetting some. There's the covers for the intakes. Those weren't too bad. Yeah, that's about it, guys. Had a really good time with this one. It is an excellent kit. If you're thinking about building this one, definitely get some kits under your belt for like beginners, which probably not many people are that are subscribed. But if you are a beginner, I would hold off and get a few kits under your belt before attempting this one. But yeah, here she is, guys. I'll give her one more little twirl, and we'll put a bow on this one and call it done. We'll be getting into something new, but it'll be a while. We're having to move, so we're moving into a different location. So yeah, it'll be a minute before I get going on something. We'll get all moved in, but then I'll get back to it. But yeah, here she is, guys. The Guardian. Alright guys, until the new build.